Are we live?
And we are rolling.
All right, we did it.
After show.
After show, man.
This is the best part.
You never done the after show, right?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
You didn't have the after show
We
yet.
just do whatever, man.
That's cool.
Anything's- yeah.
I listened to the one that you put out with Nathanius.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, like, can I talk about how cool he is? Like, he's so nice.
He's so nice.
He's
yeah.
so fucking funny.
He's fucking great.
He's so good. I am.
He's
What is
absolutely
with you
hilarious.
StarCraft casters? Like, all of you are pretty much hilarious. Like,
I think
I
all
am
the
not
casters
funny.
are really
I am not
funny.
a funny person.
No, you're funny, but I think I don't know. I don't know why all the StarCraft commentators are funny. Actually, yeah. I don't know why that is though.
Like, I love hanging out with you guys because I just like am genuinely just laughing most of the time, and
I
just
think
like
it's because it's also the same people around each other for a long time, so they all end up with the same
y'all
kind
kind
of
of know each other.
yeah, the same kind of humor.
I'm really starting to like really enjoy like the casters that I work with for PUBG.
Yeah.
Like they're all super cool, super fun.
It's also nice that you're traveling around the world with the same people.
Right.
So you start to have these shared experiences, and that's really, it's really nice.
They're my friends now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially, you know, like Matrim, the guy that I do PUBG with at the big stages. He and I just like, we click so easily. He's just one of the nicest like fucking guys. Super cool. All of them there, of course, are just like great. Like I get to meet all these people, and like we all just like get to do this thing that we really love doing. And yeah, I don't know, but like StarCraft casters especially, like when I hang out with you guys, dude,
I think it's just
dying.
StarCraft people are pretty funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is that? Like, well, there's this weird thing with StarCraft people where like you're good at like for whatever reason you're good at a bunch of weird things. Like not I shouldn't say weird, but different stuff like poker. Right? Tons of StarCraft people go into poker. You know, and why is that? Well,
I think it was just it's a incomplete information thing. Did we talk about this in the first podcast? I can't remember. It's like
I think you talked about it with somebody else.
somebody else. Yeah, I mean, my theory is that it's like, you know, in StarCraft you scout around and you see some of what they have, and then you lose that information. And poker's like that too, where you, like some of the cards are face down, some of them are face up, and so you're trying to figure out what's the best decision to make based on the information that you have.
Right.
And then bluffing is in StarCraft and in poker.
Yeah.
So you can act like you have a good hand and you don't. And there's ways to try to get reads on that. So that would be my take on it. I don't know. But as far as funniness goes, I think it's... I don't know. I'm trying to think of other people that have really good senses of humor in other games. I don't know if there's...
I mean, it's not like they have... Nobody has like bad senses of humor. Like people are pretty funny. Like Kamaris is fucking hilarious, for example.
Yeah, he's
like,
really funny.
He and I
don't think he's as
cracks
funny.
me up
I
more
don't think he's as funny on camera as he is actually in person too. Because there's people who are really funny, like when they're not filmed. And occasionally there's people who are funny when they're filmed and then they're not that funny in person, which is that's fucking weird. But yeah, that's something that can happen too. But I don't know
what it is. I guess I mean you have to have some level of charisma to like be on camera and do what we do.
Well, I think for instance, FGC people are always very sociable in person. I found. Because I think they have to be
super nice.
You can't just be on a computer.
Yeah, just get your ass kicked.
But we can do this video. That's actually true. Yeah.
Yeah.
This video is going to be for Patreon too, or is it just audio?
I think we'll put it unlisted or some shit like that. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get something.
We could just.
I was like, can I take my pants off?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
You can do that if you want.
Yeah, you can. That's right. People are paying for this, man. We got to give them something.
Yeah. I'm not gonna take my shirt off, show my tattoo. Sorry.
Yeah, not yet. That'll be a Patreon goal there. No, I was wondering. You haven't gotten to see what you look like on camera yet, right? With this,
I never
looks
want to
pretty
see what
good.
I look like on camera.
I actually. So, do you hate seeing like recordings of yourself?
I hate seeing pictures of myself.
Yeah, I hate seeing pictures of myself.
I don't
too.
like having pictures of me taken. Like, this is weird,
Yeah.
right? Well, we do. We have to be like
on camera,
and we have to be like a personality, all this other stuff. And I hate it.
I was on this trip and my girlfriend kept taking photos of me, and I really didn't like it that much. I like getting photos of everything else, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I struggle with like social media and that kind of thing in general as well. This is like this is like a branch of this, because like to be successful on Twitter and other social media, Instagram and stuff, you're like you don't have to show yourself, but you have to be like taking pictures. And I find taking a picture to almost ruin the moment that I'm in. Like I'd rather just experience the moment for myself. Yeah. And I do take pictures of stuff if I think it's cool, or I really like architecture, for example. Like I like big buildings and stuff like that, so I'll take pictures of those. But like when it comes to like when I'm like, I don't know, just out with friends or something like that, I don't want any pictures taken. I just want to enjoy the moment.
Yeah, I'm not a big picture person. I'll take photos of stuff that I'm like, if I'm out in a foreign country, I'll take a photo of a building or
same.
maybe my meal, but I don't even post it on social media.
No.
Actually, you know what I'm trying to do? I haven't done it yet, but this was one of my New Year's resolutions, was to start using Instagram again.
Oh,
because you're
getting on the gram.
I'm getting on the gram, dude, because I'm so bad about using social media.
I'm horrible.
I used to be really good about it, and I just realized I hated it, and I don't really want to. I don't know, for my day-to-day, I don't really feel like I need to share my thoughts, but I'm going to try to get back on it a little bit more because I'm so off the grid.
Well, and my problem is like sometimes I get fired up about stuff and I shouldn't say anything.
That's the problem that most people have, is they say something that is like not career destroying. I've seen that though, but
yes,
just people saying stuff that you probably didn't need to say.
No,
and
I do that sometimes, and I shouldn't, but because sometimes I get a little crazy about stuff. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I get very fired up about certain things, and I get really emotional about it.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I try to not be on Twitter that much, is I'll see certain people saying stuff and be like, oh.
I did this. I went off on one of the players on Twitter because he was like being really negative about PUBG, and I'm like, dude.
Well, that's everybody with everything game,
right?
I don't know why, but it seems like people are very inclined to share their negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Without being aware of how fucking, I guess, ridiculous that looks. Unless it's something you really feel strongly about. But sometimes people just complain on.
Well, there's like a constructive way to complain about things. Yeah. This is kind of something that I'm trying to promote, I think in the PUBG community. Yes, there are problems, but there's a way to talk about it.
But you can also contact the publisher. I mean, I've always found it odd, and this doesn't happen very often, but you'll see somebody complaining about a friend group on Twitter.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Just go talk to them. Very rarely is there something that you need to say to everybody you've ever known. Mm-hmm. Big or little.
Like strangers as well.
Yes. There's almost nothing you need to say to everybody. I use Twitter all the time, but I'm almost only DMing people on there.
Right.
And then tweeting when things are out. I'll tweet that this
sure,
podcast
I try
is
to
out.
keep mine as work-related as I can.
I'm going to try to start taking cool photos and just putting them on Instagram.
I need to do the same. Yeah, I really need to, this is a big goal for me this year.
Should we do it? Should we try to do 3 Instagram posts a week, you and me?
Okay.
You want to try to do it?
Let's do it. All right, I need to start using Instagram more as well.
All right, so what's the date today? It's the 13th of January.
Okay.
It's Monday, so we have 3 Instagram posts we got to put up every week.
I'm in. That's a good idea.
Okay.
I should be doing that.
I'll be there on your Instagram. I'll be like, wow, Clint, these photos are really cool.
So I told you
sending you my support.
It's gonna hit that heart so
hard.
Little
hands going like this, little hands, sending good vibes.
Good vibes, buddy. So I think for me, a big goal for me this year is to expand or reach out more. Try to get my exposure bigger. I guess that's the right word, because I achieved my goal last year by more than I could have ever imagined. My goal last year,
you fucking crushed last year. Congratulations, seriously.
Thanks. I did not expect things to go the way they did. I was quite frankly in a very desperate situation.
Yeah.
Before, when I was on your podcast the first time, and the year after that just completely changed, and everything just got better and better and better and better. And so I accomplished all my goals and then some that I set for myself last year. So this year I need to I'm not going to set mile high I'm going to be fucking president, but I want to build my brand a little bit and get some more.
The thing about social media is that it's yours.
That's true.
I mean, it's like a Twitch channel. This podcast that I'm doing, it's mine. It's not like there's some company that's coming in here and telling me what to do, and so that's the advantage about it. I just find, I don't know. I guess I'm okay with myself. I think you're the same way. I don't need to share that much with people. I like making this podcast and I like putting these conversations out here, but it's a very different format. But I'm going to try to just be more out there on Instagram, because I don't think it's like Twitter where I just have to say what I think or write a sentence.
Yeah.
It's easy to just post. If I see something cool in my neighborhood, I could take a picture of it and tweak the colors or
you
shadows.
And I, we talk about this a lot, that we really value our privacy and kind of having a separate world, a separate life, because who I am on a broadcast is not who I am in my day-to-day life. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of a slightly different version of yourself.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a version of I'm a certain version of myself.
Right. It's not exactly the same.
The worst thing you can do is be not you,
completely
like
fake.
someone else. I know people who do that, and they can never keep that muscle flex for that long.
I
because
find they just fall apart eventually.
Yeah, they fall apart, or they're totally burnt out when they go off air. They're totally exhausted and stuff. But no, I would say that you in the broadcast is the same as you in person. I have worked with
similar, yeah.
I have worked with some fucking fake ass people.
Oh, same.
Where I just like the camera and you know,
it's really
it's
weird.
Like, you know, when Krusty the Clown, when he gets off camera, he's like, ah, he like lights that cigarette. He's like, ah. I've definitely worked with those people.
Well, it's so weird because like sometimes you're just like, well, can you just be like that all the time? Because you're pretty cool on broadcast.
Yeah. Like, what is this fake dude you're bringing here?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Well, it's just so. What I find really weird behind this, like the one thing that does frustrate me about this job is the weird politics that are behind the scenes and like how there's like, it's just a bunch of people like fighting. Oh, of course, this is a wonderful job and this is like a dream job.
Yeah.
This is like something I'm just beyond thrilled that I got to do
go
this.
like this for a second. So you had like,
my eyebrow
you had like some wizard eyebrow going. All right, you're good.
My eyebrows are funky.
No, you're good. Go on. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but there's like this weird politics that you have to navigate behind the scenes. And
yeah, I don't like
I find that to be just not fun and just gross.
It's actually one of the things I like about the StarCraft commentators is everybody's friends. Everybody's friends. So it's just like, also the game's not new. So there's not all these people dogpiling on to try to do the same game. So it's like a little bit more relaxed. Like the people who are there are choosing to be there.
Right.
Excuse me. Whenever you have a new game though, that's where it gets a little bit crazy.
It gets nuts. I mean, PUBG is still nuts. It's still, the competition is fierce to do casting. And I mean, you know, you have everybody from like established eSports figures to just people who are just trying to make it somehow in this game. That is, you know, it's nuts. And I was fortunate enough to, you know, get up there and really be able to do it. But I put a lot of time and work into it. I'm sure everybody does, of course.
Sure.
But you know, it's just like weird, like being behind the scenes and like people think certain things about other people that just aren't true, or just like it's really, really weird.
Well, sometimes it can be a zero-sum game because there's only so many casting spots, you know, and it's all these games seem to be at times fleeting. You know, I mean, StarCraft and Counter-Strike are probably the best examples of long-standing games. Right, because it's the same. StarCraft 1 is the same game from 21 years ago. Street Fighter has different iterations, but it's not. It's not the same. It's not the same. They've drastically tried to improve on whatever the model was from before that. And then, I mean, Counter-Strike, it's 1.6 and CS:GO. StarCraft 2 is still a different game than StarCraft 1, for instance. I wouldn't consider them to be.
They're way different.
They're way different. People will look at them and think they're the same, but they're not. But then StarCraft 2 is now about to be 10 years old, and
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
10 years ago.
That's weird.
That's fucking nuts. I mean, I distinctly remember when it came out and wanting to play it so bad, and you know all of the stuff surrounding it, and watching all the tournaments, like the beta when it was in beta, and it was just, I was so excited for that, and to think that is 10 years ago, that's nuts.
Yeah.
That's when I was.
Feels like a really long time. A lot of people will say, like, time moves so fast, and it feels like it was yesterday. Nothing in my life ever feels like that. I feel
not
like
anymore.
Yeah, I feel like, at least with this job I have now, I feel like time moves so slowly. Like I'm like the fucking ancient Deku tree. Like I've been around for fucking 300,000 years, Clinton. I was talking to Dan about this because I think Dan was saying that every year that you get older, like it should seem faster than the year before it.
Yeah.
Because you've experienced that. And I'm like, no, man, I've been around forever. Like I've done so many events and done so many gigs and then had so much downtime. I feel like time moves very slowly. Do you feel like?
Yeah, so like I've read up on some of this stuff, and like one of the prevailing theories as to why time feels like it moves faster for most people as they get older is because their brains aren't saving that information. They aren't processing it. You've already seen and done these things, so your brain
and you're doing the same thing at your job every day.
Right. Your brain has already allocated this memory.
They're not like us, Clinton.
But
all the other people, they just kill cattle every day until they die, Clinton. It's just putting a ball gun in between the eyes of cows and killing them endlessly while we're out making art.
Not all of us can be the bad guy from No Country for Old
Men.
Right.
No, but that would make sense. So if you had some kind of monotonous job, right? Like
monotony,
it just no matter what it is, it's the same thing.
But I can't stand monotony. Like, it drives me absolutely insane.
I guess also there's enough controlled chaos in a job like this.
Yeah.
Like
you have to be doing different stuff all the time. Like, this year I went to 6 different countries or whatever it is, right? And I went to completely new places. Ever since I started, I'm coming up on doing esports full time for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And it feels way longer. It feels like forever.
Yeah, this is the way I feel. Like, since I've been out here, I've been out in Korea for about 12 years. It feels like
but it
50
feels like
years.
Six
it feels
right?
so, it's been so much time that if I find out what happened 3 years ago and I go, oh my God, I thought it was way longer than that.
But this is like something that I love about just like the way I've chosen to do my life is things are always changing. And I like that. And I think a lot of people could like actually, even if it's simple stuff, you just go somewhere new. You go to a different town or you go to like a different store. Yeah,
that's a good point. I've lived in a lot of different places in Korea, which might be another big factor here. I've moved around, and even in college, I was always going to different dorms, and then I lived in different houses. Maybe that's another reason why.
Yeah, there's something. I've always been the same. I've always been a little restless, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, I want to go out and do different things and experience different things and kind of see whatever's going on. Even if it's like some days I'll just go to the mountain and go for a hike. I don't do that very much, but every once in a while I'll just be like, okay. Or like I went to an area here in the southern part of the country that's like a mountain resort area. Yeah. It's normally like a ski resort, but I just went there because there was nobody there. Like, nobody's there during the off season. And I got a cheap room at a nice place, like a really nice place out in the mountains. Yeah. Like, beautiful scenery. It was fall, so everything's all red and orange and, all the beautiful colors and stuff. And there's nobody there, and it was wonderful. And it was like, I was only there for like 2 nights, but it felt like a week. Yeah. Because there was just nobody there, and I just had all this time to myself, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. I think being able to just mix it up enough is good. I think traveling helps with that a lot, too.
Yes.
That's one thing that I think nobody ever expects with this line of work is that you're getting to travel all over the place. Because you think of gaming as, people tend to think of gaming as you've never left your mom's basement.
Yeah, you're never leaving your monitor.
And it's actually, you're all over the place if you're doing this kind of work. So you're going to go to the Philippines coming up here?
We're working on it.
It hasn't been announced yet, right? It hasn't
been announced. We're working on it. There's
bleep
something in the
that
works.
Out. You're going to beep.
No. We're working out a deal, so hopefully that'll happen. It looks like it will, though.
Do you find it stressful to negotiate with companies?
Yeah.
Because I actually hate it.
I don't enjoy it. I just wish like I could just say, look, this is what I get paid. Like, can we just do this? Yeah. Like, I look at like these events and I look at their prize pools, for example, and I think, well, I'm getting paid like less than 1% of that. Like, I think it's okay. Like, I think it's okay to pay me a little bit more. I mean, I'm like the
it's always
voice
tricky.
of your game.
It's always tricky. Yeah, that's why I think too is that I'm talking over this entire thing the whole time. Like, can you give me more, please? But then if you ask for too much, they just go to the next guy. That's the other problem is it's too competitive.
What weirds me out is like sometimes if you ask for like more than what they were expecting, and then they just like drop, and they're just like no. And I'm like, no, we can negotiate
You
this.
get fucking ghosted. I know that, yeah.
Yeah.
You like write like a long email, explain all this, and then nothing happens, and someone else is at the event. You go, oh, I should have just said yes. Are you playing any of their games? We got maybe a few more minutes left before we close out. You playing any cool
Halo's
games?
back, so I've been playing some of that.
Halo Reach, right?
Yeah, Reach is out right now.
Is that the newest one, or is that they brought that back, right?
Yeah, so there was Reach came out after 3. And then there was 4 and 5, which were done by a different company, not Bungie. So this company, 343 Studios, is releasing what they're calling the Master Chief Collection. So they're starting with Reach. They're going in chronological order. So in the storyline, Reach happens before 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And so they're going to do Reach, and then they're going to release 1, 2, and 3 in that order on some time frame. I'm not exactly sure what it is. But Reach is fun. I really like Reach. I think it has the best single player of all the Halos. A lot of people don't agree with me on that. But
what do other people say is the best one?
2 or 3. Most people just love 2 or 3. They're just like, they were so good. I mean, especially for esports, they were huge. So it was, I think a lot of people just have that kind of nostalgia factor. But I like the story of Reach because it's really dark. And like if you know anything about the Halo universe, you know going into it that it doesn't end.
Is that the one with the giant ring? The giant
Halo
hula hoop?
Not in Reach. Reach is on Reach?
Fuck, all right. I don't know Halo lore that well.
Halo, the rest of them all take place on the rings. So the rings are like weapons, actually, is what you find out when you're progressing through the story to destroy basically the galaxy in case this species called the Flood get out into the greater galaxy. They're kind of like I don't know how to put it. They're like a parasite. Like they take over everything, right?
Really?
So this species, this old ancient alien species, built these huge rings to protect, or not to protect, but to eliminate everything if this species got out of control.
Damn.
So that's what the whole
It was
story
better
is.
to eliminate everything than let the species
they're,
go.
they're called the Flood. They're that bad.
Damn.
Like they take over everything. But Reach is all about the first time. Like there's like
there's probably a lot of people listening to this thinking the Flood is microtransactions in cell phone games, but better to destroy all of gaming than let that happen.
It just can't happen. Pay to win or nothing. So Reach it takes place on just a planet. The planet is called Reach. It was like the first or something. I think it was like the first planet outside of Earth that humans colonized. And so this other race, the Covenant, which is like this weird collection of different species of aliens, go to that planet to try to. It's like the stepping stone to Earth, right? It's like the next in line. And so it's all about like this is where like all the Spartans except for Master Chief died, was fighting on this planet, trying to keep it from Covenant control, and they didn't fully succeed. I mean, they did help.
I love how much you know about this.
I fucking love this game.
I see his nerd eyes light up. I'm like, whoa. No, that's cool. It's always so good to get into a game and get into the story. Because I had an Xbox in college, and you know, at that time in our lives, you're always beholden to whatever console is basically available.
Right.
And a lot of times that's like what either your parents bought for you or what you, I guess, like ended up with the money you had. It was like, and so I played Halo. I mean, that was a good game, but I never really got to keep up with the storyline that well. But
I just got so invested in it, it just kind of happened. You know, eventually you get bored of grinding out, 8 hours of multiplayer a day, and so you're like, all right, I'm gonna go play the campaign with my friends and just fuck around. And then you kind of learn the story from that. But it's a cool game. I like the concept of the universe is kind of cool, and the whole storyline behind Master Chief is pretty cool. So I like that. What else have I been playing? Teamfight Tactics. Been playing a bunch of that. I love it. I think it's really cool. It's like I like the auto battlers. Like I played a bunch of auto chess, and I think they're really fun and they're really unique and interesting. And they're really challenging because you have to think so fast. Like I feel so slow when I play it. When I watch, like,
did you try the Hearthstone auto battler?
I didn't try that one.
It's
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's all kind of I mean, it's an auto. I'm not that into the auto battlers as much, but yeah, that's. I was curious if you tried that out.
Yeah. No, I haven't tried that one. I've only done auto chess and Teamfight Tactics for the auto battlers. I haven't tried any others, but I like the genre. I find it really challenging and interesting.
Yeah, it's also, there's some games that are made just to be played in a certain way. Like you can have like a TV show on and play an auto battler. Hearthstone's like that too. Like eventually you have to focus in if it gets really competitive, but almost like knitting. You can kind of just like be playing a game, and you're kind of like you're like not knitting, like crocheting, like grandma does. It's like some games are kind of like that.
I do. I like those kind of games. Like I kind of used to do that with like Skyrim and stuff like that. With games where I'm like, I don't need to be thinking about this, and like a lot of the game is just wandering. Like World of Warcraft Classic, I played some of that, and like
I'm super into Dark Souls, but I always have a documentary playing while
you're playing Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's just something in the background, or like some radio or podcast is playing. I always, because you're not. Dark Souls barely has a story.
That's true.
People say it has a story, they're wrong. Like, did you read the description of all the rings? I'm like, I didn't.
We should make a Dark Souls children's book.
Yeah,
we can fit it all in one children's book.
I mean, you kind of know what's going on, but it's like not. There's not cutscenes where some guy comes on and he's like, I'm this fucking guy, and you need to go here and find my bones or something. There's nothing like that. You just know that you're in an environment and you're trying to get from point A to point B. So I can do that.
When you listen, I gotta ask you this. When you listen to stuff or like have stuff on the side while you're playing games or whatever, do you internalize what's going on? Like with let's say you have a documentary while you're playing Dark Souls. Do you actually like internalize what's happening in that documentary? Because I find I can't, I can only do like one thing at a time actually.
Oh, interesting.
And I just completely miss out on whatever the hell's going on.
I think that I can, okay, so let's take Hearthstone for instance, right? So if I can get up to level 5, this is back when I played, I could get up to level 5, which is high up. just having a documentary and I'm not even really paying attention to the game. I'm more engaged with the documentary. I just know the patterns for what cards to put out, and I know, after, especially in these games where the meta's pretty solved, you kind of just know. You look at the board, you go, okay, and then occasionally I'll look at the board and say, okay, wait a minute, and then I might, even if the documentary's playing, I have to focus in on the game and do that. And if I realize I didn't hear anything in the documentary, I just go back.
You just go back.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't do it. It just drives me crazy. Like,
but I found if I was watching stuff at level 5, I never went up. And the moment I turned it off, I started going up. So there's just things I'm not registering, or I'm putting it too much to autopilot.
I see. Yeah.
So
I get that. There are games where I can not think about the game and just kind of do it.
I mean, I would say anything where you're competing against a person, there's a point where if they're just devoting more of their brain to it, then they're just gonna.
Then you're gonna lose.
Assuming that they're good enough, then that's the case. But for some stuff, like if it's a platformer game or something I'm playing, I can just and it's not that atmospheric, and it's just like I'm trying to get through it. I can have something playing usually,
like Mega Man or something like.
It depends on the game and how sucked in I am into the atmosphere and the universe. But yeah,
I got you.
Should we get some dinner?
Yeah, let's get out of here, man.
We did another one. Thank you for doing this, man.
Sure, dude.
I was
fun.
nervous before we did it. I was actually, when I got in here, I was like, no, this is.
Actually, for me,
this is fine.
fun.
We got a good team here.
Yeah, a really good team here.
Yeah, and this setup is cool, and it's only going to get better. So.
This is super awesome.
Thank you.
Love to be back on. Enjoyed
yeah. And thank you, people who are watching. We're going to have more of these down the road. Cool.